Hi everybody, this is Chad, the Gaming Dad here on Dad's Games, and today I'm going to be showing you a couple things that I got that make playing games on a Raspberry Pi a lot better. So let's say you have a copy of a game like this, Battletoads and Double Dragon, right? And you want to play this, but instead of lugging the whole Nintendo out and hooking everything up, you just go ahead and put this on your Raspberry Pi like I have here. Problem is, when you play games on a Raspberry Pi, it's kind of tough to use a great old TV like this 20-inch Sony Trinitron that I found in the trash last week. Yes, I found this TV in the trash just down the street from my house. Someone was throwing this beauty away. I mean, look at that. You can't beat that for playing old games. I really like having a Raspberry Pi to take all my games in my collection, put them on one thing where it's really convenient and you can just switch between them easily without having to lug out all the old hardware. Not to mention, these things are going to wear out, getting plugged in and out all the time, as well as the hardware, the actual Super Nintendo itself. So this is going to save your collection a lot longer as well. So when you normally play something like the Raspberry Pi, or even if you plug in an actual Super Nintendo into a newer TV like the one I got going on back there, you're going to get something that's a lot more, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. It's got all of the pixels, but they're really blocky. Take a look. You can see what I'm talking about here. It looks good. It looks really clear and it's really nice, but there's just something off about it. It's almost too clear, too nice. That's why they have all those shaders and stuff in there that you can pick from. Things that make it look like a CRT, or things that make it look like watercolor, and so there's all kinds of weird shaders in there. But what I'm here to tell you about today, this beautiful 20-inch Sony Trinitron CRT TV. This thing's from 1997. What a great set. I mean, look how clear that is. Everything looks perfect on it, but the problem is these Raspberry Pis, they hook up with an HDMI. So I looked online and I didn't really see a whole lot of reviews and things like that. I thought I'd tell you about what I found. Alright, so what I did was I went on Amazon and I found something. Actually, eBay is where I found this. You can find it on Amazon or eBay. It's called the MINI HD2AV. And what it does is it takes the HDMI cord, you plug it in there, and then just your standard yellow, white, and red, the good old composite signal, and that's what goes into these great old TVs, right? Thing is, you can buy something that's $30, or you can buy something that's even more money, like, I don't know, a FrameMeister or something like that. These things cost a ton of cash. I was willing to spend 10 bucks to see what this was like, and I'm telling you, it's really good. Now on here, there's a switch for PAL or NTSC, depending on what kind of TV you're hooking it up to. And there's also a spot here for USB power. I thought it wouldn't work unless it was plugged in, but as you can see right here, it's plugged in, and it's running Battletoads and Double Dragon just fine. It actually gets a little bit warm. You know, there's a chip in there that does the conversion for you, but this is all you need. You plug this in, and then you have what you need to go straight into there. Now, this would also work if, say, you had, I don't know, a newer system, even like a PS3 or 360 or PS4 or anything, right? Maybe you don't have an HD TV available to you right then and there. You could get one of these things, plug it in, and bam, you got it on your TV. But the real reason I wanted this is, like I was telling you a second ago, these old games were built with CRTs in mind. The programmers and the people that made these games knew that they were going to be played on TVs like this, not TVs like that. And so when they built these games, they made them specifically for a screen like this, with as many pixels and the kind of resolution that it has. So to me, I don't care whether you're playing the actual systems or if you're playing on a Raspberry Pi or on whatever, the best picture you're going to get and the best quality for those old retro games is going to be on an actual CRT, and this little converter makes it possible for you to do that. The other recommendation I'm going to make is, if you have a Raspberry Pi and you want to play a lot of retro games, do yourself a favor and find one of these. It's called iBuffalo. It's an iBuffalo classic USB gamepad. They go for about $20 to $25 on eBay and Amazon. And of all of the controllers that I've tried, whether it's a 360 controller or other aftermarket controllers, any kind of USB controller that you can plug into this to use, this one feels to me the most like an actual Super Nintendo controller. Works for all the different systems, works for Sega, works for Neo Geo, it works for everything. The only one it really doesn't work for is if you're going to be playing some PlayStation 1 games on here, you might want a 360 controller simply because you might need the analog sticks. If you're going to play games like Ape Escape, it requires the analog sticks. So for that, keep your old 360 controllers around, but for everything else, this is the best. It's real cool looking, it has nice buttons, really colors, it's a great quality controller. It feels like a Super Nintendo controller, the buttons feel right. But the really awesome thing about this is a lot of these old games required a lot of button mashing. This controller helps take care of that because it's got the thing here you see says turbo and then clear. Any button on here, if you want that to become a turbo button, let's say you're playing a game and the B button is fire, but you want it to be turbo. You hold down turbo, press B, now it becomes turbo until you hold down clear and the button. That's how you clear it out. But that can work for the shoulder buttons, it can work for anything. It's a really cool way to play tons of different retro games and have the ability to just turn on turbo just like that anytime you need it. Highly recommend the iBuffalo. Alright, so let's see it in action. We're going to go ahead and play through the HD2AV. We're going to play some Battletoads and Double Dragon on the Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to use the iBuffalo controller on my free 20-inch Sony TV. I love this thing, it's so nice. It's kind of tough to record these old CRTs, but I'm sure you can get the gist of it, of just how nice it looks and how clear and crisp everything is going through that HD2AV device. For $10, you could do a lot worse. You could almost do as bad as I did and just die like that. So there you go, everybody. I'm just going to let my guy get all beat up in the background here. Just wanted to give you a little bit of some information about some things that I found recently. Number one being the HD2AV device that's working right here. Does a really great job for $10. And the iBuffalo controller, this is by far the best one that I've tried so far for playing retro on a Raspberry Pi. As you can see, looks great on a CRT. Works pretty good on a newer TV as well, but if you really want the pure experience to make it seem the most like it did back in the old days, this is the way to go. Highly recommend both of these things. So till next time, remember, you never outgrow video games. My name's Chad the Gaming Dad, and this is Dad's Games. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. So long, everybody. Thanks again for watching. If you liked that video, please press like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, so leave your comments and any suggestions down below. Remember, there's tons of other gamers out there just like you and me, and they also know that you never outgrow video games. Feel free to share these videos all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you use. This channel is for all of us. Let's make sure they know that they are not alone. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.